Well, it means a lot to me because expenses for one thing. Retirement centers are so expensive. And staying in my own home, I can have my children come in anytime they want to. I can turn the TV up as loud as I want to.
Yeah.
And I can eat my meals whenever I want to and see my neighbors and before COVID, my friends. And it means a lot.
Well, I like to be in my surroundings that I'm so familiar with. I can have things on the wall, pictures that I enjoy looking at, and people coming to visit me and see me and spend time with me.
I am very familiar with my home, and I have been here for over 40 years, and I know my neighborhood. I'm very well acquainted with my neighbors, and they drop in to check on me and make sure everything is, all right, everything is okay, and I'm familiar with the surroundings as of right now. I would like to stay here as long as I possibly could. I raised my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and my children. They were all raised here. Matter of fact, my great-grandson came back yesterday to visit me.
Be able to stay in my home at 76 years old means so much to me. To be able to get up and use your own bathroom, go in your own kitchen at my age. I'm old-fashioned, I like to be in my own. Staying with my kids or staying with somebody else, it'll be all right. But even staying in a facility, but being able to be in your own home at my age and my upbringing and the way the type of human being that I am, means so much to me.
My children, all 5 of them.
Do they all live in this area?
No, only one lives here. Of course, I call on him the most, but the others help in so many ways. My daughter lives in Memphis, but she orders my groceries for me.
Oh, wow.
And my son up in Fayetteville is taking care of, had some problems with my roof, and I want a new paint job on the house, and he's taking care of that for me. I'm not worried about it at all. So.
With utilities and repair, I am still waiting on the man to do the roof. He has not gotten here yet. I said I would ask you if you would call him while you were here again today.
Okay.
But all of those things that you are food, even little things like cleaning supplies, all of those things like that, and even with food, all of that, they've helped me extensively, greatly. They've helped. I appreciate all of that. Even helping me to do my circuit breaker, was that it? All of those type of things that you
forms, all those long forms and really tiny print.
You have a book concerning Sarah St. James, a complete book, not just a few pamphlets, like a book concerning me. Something that someone needs to know about my finances. I know I can call Mrs. Trans, because she has everything right there on file. So I'll call her and see whatever it is I need. Yes, ma'am. Can I say all the support that I have?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. From family and friends and people like yourself.
I guess just by being able to make my own food, go to the bathroom on my own. Be able to, and you also got that transportation thing like for me.
Go down my steps, but physical therapy is helping me with that. I hope I'm going to be able to do a lot of online shopping with help from the kids because I don't know how to do it by myself. Well, I guess a lot of people use Facebooks, but I think most of us older folks do not. And I thought about phone pals. And another thing I thought about was when I belonged to another denomination, they had what they called grandparents, adopt a grandparent for the younger people. I thought, well, why not the younger people adopt an old shut-in just to check on you and, you know, make you feel like somebody, you know, but outside your family cares.
Right.
Well, this may seem a little far-fetched, but make new friends. I just don't have a chance to do that, and all my old friends have died or passed on, you know, or in retirement centers where I can't, you know, I can go see them now, but I once couldn't. So go to the Gulf. Well, to be able to get out a little bit more, of course, COVID has kept us all in, but just to be able to socialize a little bit with people my own age or younger.
Right.
Most of them would be younger.
Yeah.
I feel like that the Catholic Church is not taking care of their old people the way that the Protestant churches do. And I think that the Catholic Health Association is really progressing towards that. And I feel real good about it.
Because I have transportation, if I, you know, to go here and there. But maybe for someone else that does not have these things, maybe that would help them. Maybe things like transportation or, you know, getting, like I'm saying, to and fro, if some way could be open for that.
For the senior citizen bus pass, I think senior citizen bus pass, I think, I don't know how much they are.
So more help with transportation.
More help with transportation. If I can get one of this, I can jump on the bus, I can get out more often on my own, other than waiting on rides, because if I can get a bus pass. And one of the things, could you work on again? I know I did get a cell phone a year ago. It's been just about a year now. See how that worked out for me. They might give me another chance with a.
Because you don't have a phone right now.
I don't have a phone at all, and I get a phone. See what happened when I had the phone? My son got the phone from me when I was in Arkansas. But the phone you ain't got me.
The free, because we did work on getting you a free cell phone.
Once I got to Arkansas, it didn't work at all. So he said, I'm going to get you a phone and I'll pay the bill every month. Didn't happen. He got the phone from me, but then the bill.
It didn't happen.
Didn't happen. It happened, but it didn't happen. But if I could work it, because I think it'd be something like from 350 to 500 minutes a month. So if I could get, try to get a phone and a bus pass, see anything like that will come up.
Hi, I'm Tom Prusky from Wesley Theological Seminary in Washington, D.C. I'm the Associate Director of the Heal the Sick program. And this topic of aging in place is a very important one. I work to train people in developing health and wellness ministries throughout the country. And so we see a lot of caregiving issues that come up as these folks who are trained try to support people in congregations. One of the most important topics, I think, is that with the pandemic, even the capacity of faith communities has changed due to the pandemic. Already stressed caregivers are being overtaxed in a lot of ways. And so this is a huge policy issue which needs to be addressed. I think the unpaid hours that caregivers have in faith communities, and hearing stories from many of those that work in congregations, is a critical need. And so it needs to be addressed at a policy and maybe a legislative issue of high importance. According to AARP and the National Caregivers Alliance, 1 in 5 people are caregivers. And so you think of the multiple roles of people who are not only working but try to juggling many different roles. This is a very important issue. And so the amount of time that an ideal piece to this conversation of aging in place is, yes, it would be great to have those age in their homes and have support services and such, but how do we pay for it? How do we support those who are doing the caregiving? And even our healthcare system, relies on, even before the pandemic struck, COVID-19, placed a heavy burden on those in the home and family members to care for those who became sick and ill. You compound that with the number of caregivers we've lost to COVID-19. And so this affects many different generations, across all different generations. So this is a critical importance. What I would like to see is actually to consider some kind of legislation too, is to support help to compensate those caregivers. This is a huge economic issue also. And so when you take a look at caregiving in general, it's one that ripples across the entire economy. And so the amount of unpaid care that takes place, and also saying that the health that it impacts the caregivers themselves of helping those age in place. We need to prop up and provide support to those who are giving the caregiving. And I don't think this has taken, we've really taken a good look at this in terms of caregiving and how we want to be able to support that. I also feel like, speaking from the aspect of congregations, many of the people who are in these ministries, many were healthcare professionals, and so they are burnt out in their current roles as healthcare professionals. And so, again, you compound that with caregiving, and this is a huge, huge issue which needs our attention, especially as older adults are transitioning to this and need care. So in the next coming weeks, months, or over the next year, one particular barrier that I would like to see is that many of those in ministry are not paid. And so, even generationally, the World War II generation, the boomer generation, you see a lot of folks who volunteered, and they themselves are needing help themselves in terms of supporting of living at home, and having caregiver issues themselves. And so it ripples through all generations, like I mentioned before. But, faith community nurses, health ministers are folks that we trained, over 300 since 2017 online with our program through Wesley Theological Seminary. And so one of the things that I would like to see is to look at more programs like this that train and help people to access resources. Like I said, faith communities are also struggling. Their capacity during COVID-19 is also something that's been relied on for, becoming resources and connecting people to resources, caregiving, and other related issues. Many of these folks are not paid. And so being able to connect people to services, we have this gap in ability to not only keep people aging in place, but the resources and structures and systems to do that. So policy is one particular way to do that and raise the awareness of this, but also providing the resources. We're also seeing this in the job market, in many different business places, that people want to have the dignity and worth to be able to know and feel that they are supported. And so, this service that was provided, or caregiving, can be very expensive for many families. And as especially for communities of color, This is an especially difficult topic and one that needs attention. And so caregiving is one that is going to be an important issue coming up. And if we don't do anything about it, it will only get worse. And so having a national conversation, but also one that's local, is very important.